welcome back to my channel. This week I've really felt like I'm stuck in the middle of a winter that I can't escape from. It just seems to be never ending. The weather has been awful. We've had relentless rain. It's really cold. It's dark and gloomy. There's no sun in the sky, and it just feels like spring is months and months away. So I thought that I would do something today to just lift the spirits and help to make this week a little bit more beautiful and bright. So for me, that always means flowers. Now here in Edinburgh, all of our florists are closed because of the lockdown, so the only place that we can get our flowers is from the supermarket. So I have been to the supermarket and I've bought quite a lot of flowers. I don't normally buy this many, but I really wanted to do something special for the video, so I've bought more than usual. And I do usually get my flowers from the supermarket simply because it's quick, easy and convenient, and it's a lot less expensive than going to a florist. But from time to time I do like to go to the florist to get a really special bouquet of flowers, because you know they can create something that I cannot. I'm no expert, and it's always nice to have that little treat. So before we begin, I just want to say, as I always do, that I am no expert at this. The flower arrangement that I'm going to be doing today this is the first time that I've done something like this. I usually just put my flowers in vases and hope for the best. So this is completely new. I'm going to be doing them in a planter like this. We've got some chicken wire in here, and this is going to replace the floral foam that you would usually get. And I've been hearing lately that floral foam is really terrible for the environment. It takes years and years to break down. So I've seen that this is a really good way to arrange your flowers in a more environmentally friendly way. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But I've never done it before. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. It could be a complete disaster, or it could turn out really well. So we'll just have to see. But yes, please don't take this channel too seriously. I'm not here to dictate to people what to do or the proper way to do things. I'm just here to show you the way I do things. And really, it's kind of my journey as I'm learning new stuff and sharing it with everybody else. So I hope that you see that this is just fun entertainment, and it's a place to get a bit of relaxation and a bit of an escape from the world. All week to prepare for this video, I've been looking through some of my favorite books on flowers. I've been looking at videos just to try and get some inspiration. And it is quite hard at this time of year because you're very limited with the supply of flowers that you can get, especially when the florists are closed, like I said before. So in the supermarket, they only really had tulips, alstroemeras and roses. So I've just picked tulips and roses, and I've also got some little carnations here, and these are just going to be little gap fillers to go in there and just to add a pop of colour as well. So to begin with our arrangement and how we're going to get started, I thought that it would be the most simple and easiest thing to get everything ready before we start. So all of the flowers that I'm using are in every vase that I have. I've used them all. We've got the planter here, and then I've also got here a little basket which has got the chicken wire, some scissors, some gloves for when I'm having to remove the leaves, and I've also here got some little bud vases, because I think I'm going to have some flowers left over, so it will be nice just to create some smaller arrangements in those. Now with cut flowers, I know that one of the most important things that you can do to give them a longer life and to make them last longer at home is to condition them. And that simply means just as soon as you get home from the supermarket or the florist, taking them, in fact I'll show you now, and cutting a few centimeters off the bottom in a diagonal cut, which means you get a larger surface area of the stem, and this will be able to soak up the water more easily. And then what you can do is, if you do that with all of them and pop them into some water for at least 7 hours, so that the flower can really soak up all the water, and it will have more of a chance of living longer in your home. So I have conditioned my flowers. They've all been soaking in water for a few hours, but I'm not exactly sure how short or long I want each flower to be, so I'm probably going to have to cut them down again. And actually, every time that you take flowers out of water and put them back, you should always cut off a little bit of the stem so that it can soak up the water again and give it a longer chance of life. Yes, so I mentioned earlier about chicken wire, and I just got this from Amazon. It was really inexpensive, and it comes in a little roll like that, and all I've done is take sections, cut it through like this, and then I have rolled it up and simply placed it into the planter, and it's already in there. And now I will add some water to it, and then we can start adding the flowers. So let's do it. So I'm just going to add some water to our planter, and I'm going to fill it up probably about halfway so that it's got plenty in there. And also the flowers are going to be cut at different lengths, so I need to make sure there is quite a lot of water in here so that the ones that are really short, that aren't going to be sticking all the way to the bottom, will still have some water to soak up too. Okay, so we have the chicken wire in here and we have the water, so I'm going to get started. And I think I'm going to start with these little tulips because I want to start around the outside, and these are quite droopy and floppy. Also, they've got a lot of greenery on them, so I think it will be a really nice base for this arrangement to have these drooping all around the edge of the container, which I think will look really nice. So I'm going to try that and see how this goes. So I'm just going to start by taking off a few centimeters, and I'm putting it into the chicken wire holes, and as you can see, it's holding. So that's a success. Okay, I'll take this leaf off. So yeah, I'm just going to place all of these around the edge of the planter so that we've got a little bit of a base. And this is, for me, so much fun. It's completely dreary outside, so this will just make my day a whole lot better, and hopefully it will help you too. Now, the first person who I first saw using chicken wire instead of floral foam is a florist called Willow Crossley, and I'm not sure whether you follow her, but if you don't, I would highly recommend that you do. She's on Instagram and she is just a dream. She lives in the Cotswolds here in the UK, and she creates the most incredible floral arrangements that are so beautiful, light, not too formal, just totally perfect, and I think you will really enjoy following her, so give her a follow. I'm sure you will thank me for it. So I have just started placing the tulips around the outside of here. I'm probably going to add some now more into the center so that we've got them sticking up and over. And for now, I'm just letting the cut stems, the ends, just go everywhere. I'm not too concerned about where they're going. I'll get them later. So yeah, I'm just sticking them in here. and they do stand up quite well. And the beauty of this as well is that you can just keep messing around, keep checking to see if you need to change anything. You don't have to worry about getting it all perfect. And in fact, as I just mentioned about Willow, she is one of these people who sees the beauty in imperfection. And actually, the more imperfect that something is, the better it looks. And I think that is completely true. Okay. So that is probably, that's all of those tulips in here. So I'm just going to have a look. I want to make sure that it's pretty looking uniform around the whole thing. And I think it is. So that's probably going to be a good start. Okay, so now I'm thinking I want to start adding in some height. And I've got these white roses here, which are quite long, quite tall, and I'm going to start placing them into the center here. And I'm probably going to cut them at different lengths so that we can give a bit of variation. I think from what I've seen from professional florists is that if you try to make everything too uniform, it can look a little bit not the best. So it's best to give it a little bit of height and height difference and different shapes just to give it more interest. So let's give it a go. And I'm probably going to put some gloves on now because these are very thorny roses and I have cut myself a lot in the past. So I'm going to be removing some of the leaves too. Probably too high. I think I want to take a good 2 inches off. And that seems to be better. And I don't think I need my gloves. They're not as thorny as I expected them to be. So, taking off again and about another 2 inches. And I'm keeping the leaves on the rose because again it will just fill it out. If you were putting these into a vase and this was going to be below waterline, you should remove them, otherwise it will cause the flowers to rot. So let's put this here. Now I might need to completely redo the whole thing and change the heights because I'm just basically figuring this out. I think I am going to make them a little bit shorter. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to make them shorter. I think if we get the right height, that will make it a lot easier. And then if they're too tall, we might have a lot of gaps. So it's best to keep them shorter. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I think I've got the height. I'm gonna do that for all of them and keep going. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how it's taking shape. We've got all the roses in there. I do have some more white roses, but I think I'm gonna leave those for now, and I'm gonna add in some color and some more texture. And I think I'm really liking the look of these tulips. I love this beautiful purple color, and I love the feathered texture of them. So I think these are gonna go in here now. So what I'm going to do is, we've got quite a lot of foliage in the center, we've got flowers all around the edge giving some form, and then we've got the roses in the middle standing tall. So these will just break up all of this green, add in some beautiful color, and hopefully it will really bring up this arrangement to the next level. Now these are quite short, so I don't really want to take too much off the ends. Probably just the tiniest amount, just so that they can absorb the new water. I hope you can see. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to start in the middle. And I'm just going to dot them around wherever I think they might need to be. And now, because most of the chicken wire is covered up with all of these flowers, it's difficult to see where you can put them in, but I think it's just a case of fiddling around and giving it a go and seeing what area works best. Put some here. Go on, squeeze in. Now these flowers are definitely not social distancing, and they definitely don't need a mask. I wish we were them. So as I'm just going around, I'm going to twist around my container so that I can just focus on every area and make sure that I'm not missing anywhere. Okay. And hopefully you can see. This is just so relaxing. If you've had a hard day, stress, I would highly recommend that you pop along to your supermarket, grab a few bunches of flowers, and this will really, it's much, much more relaxing than sitting down watching TV, and it's more rewarding. So let's have a look. There's a little bit of a gap around here at the front. Ouch. So let's see, just here. So I'm just going to pop this in there. I think it's starting to take some shape now. So that is all of those. Let's just lift it up and see what we've got. So it's looking pretty nice. We're starting to get shape and form, and the different colours and textures is what makes it look a little bit more beautiful and professional. But now, because we've got quite a lot of this kind of similar bud shape of the tulip and the rose, it's quite big, I would like to start adding in some of these carnations so that they're little buds, and they just to have the little difference of shape and the difference of size throughout the middle. It will again take this arrangement up a little bit. So I'm just going to take a sprig of this. I am going to just quickly run my hands down and pull away this foliage just to get rid of that. And I just want to see now how much we need to cut it, and we need to cut it quite a lot. So I'm thinking we'll start maybe here and try that. Yeah, I think that's a good height. So it's just poking through and resting on top. So again, just pulling down on here, get rid of this foliage. And I'm just going to dot these through all the gaps. And it's really, even now, just having two in here, just seeing the little sprigs of pink, and when they open up, it will really start to look very beautiful. When the chicken wire starts to get quite full, you do kind of have to jam it in, but that's okay. The flowers are quite tough and they can stand that. So I'm just picking ones that haven't yet really opened, so that they got lots of time to do that. Put some around here. And I'm just going to carry on placing these through the arrangement until it starts to look a lot more packed out and full. Okay, so I am now just going to stop with the carnations for a little bit because it's made quite a difference. It's added a lot of beautiful sprigs of flowers through here, but there are still some gappy areas that I want to address. So I think I'm going to carry on with tulips. So I've got some more white tulips here. These ones are not as floppy as the ones that we have around here, so these will stand up. And I think I'm going to put these in through the middle, just between these purple ones, and then we'll see how we get on. So let's do that. Now I want to try and keep on as much as the leaf as possible, because that will also help to fill it out. And this leaf is a different colour to the darker leaves that we have in the middle, so to have the contrast will be really nice. So I do need to cut it down a lot, but I want to try and keep the leaf in. Now we're really getting packed out and struggling for space, but that is fine. You just have to fiddle around and you will eventually find a home for the flower. But yes, I think we are getting there and we're almost done. Right. You can see here there's a little bit of gap, so let's add something here. There we go. Okay, so the tulips, because they have quite a thick stem, I'm struggling to fit them into the arrangement now, so I think I'm going to go back onto the roses because they have obviously much thinner stem and they will go in a lot more easily, and we can just pack in some of the gaps that we have. But I think we're really getting there now. Right. So yeah, this is working a lot better. You kind of have to keep standing back to see where you need to go. I think we've got a little bit of gapping here. Can that go in? Go on. There we go. Yes. Yes. I'm really thinking we're getting to the end now. We don't need to be adding too many more of these larger blooms. And it is important to make sure that you get the flower into water. Make sure you can actually feel when it's in, and that you need to make sure you do that, otherwise it will die. It needs to be in the water. So this one is struggling. There we go, there we go. I think now, just to finish off, I'm going to add in the last of these carnations. Take this off, and that will be it. The final few sprigs going in there. Now I'm literally just looking around to see what we can do to finish off. I'm adding different things at different times, just filling in the gaps as best as we can. And again, it doesn't have to be too perfect, but we do want to fill it up and use all these blooms if we can. Well, probably not going to be able to use all of them. And the last one. There we go. I think that's it. Leave it there. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yep, it's looking pretty fab. I think we are pretty much done. And I have to say, considering that I've never done this before, it just goes to show that with a little bit of effort, you really don't have to be, you know, the most amazing florist. You can create something for yourself that's beautiful at home without spending a fortune. So I really hope that it has inspired you to want to do it for yourselves. As it's Valentine's Day next week, I thought that it would be nice to give away another gift. I really loved giving away my framed botanical prints, so I thought that I would give away this. You may recognize this tea box from my tea video. This is a decoupage box that I made, and I'm going to give this away for Valentine's Day. So if you want to be in with the chance of winning this box, all you have to do is leave me a comment on this video, and in next week's video I will announce the winner. So I'll go through all of the comments, pick somebody at random, as long as it's a nice comment, and I will choose the winner that way, and I will announce it in next week's video. So good luck to you all. I'll open the competition worldwide, so wherever you are in the world, please feel free to enter and you may be able to win this box. Until then, I hope you have a really great weekend and a wonderful week next week, and I'll see you again next Friday. Take care.